have so many great memories being a kid at Walt Disney World, but there's a lot of things that you can no longer do. Keep watching for 5 things you can't do at Walt Disney World.
Showcase suggestions, where I share travel tips and lists of 5 to help make traveling with kids a little easier.
I've been to Walt Disney World more times than I can count. It's my career. I help families plan Disney vacations, so I have to go pretty often. But some of my favorite memories are actually from being a kid and remembering some of these incredible things that you could do. One of the things that you can no longer do at Walt Disney World is wear a costume as an adult. When you're over 12, you can no longer wear a costume unless you are at one of these special events. And that's because people's costumes got to be so good that people were confusing them for the characters. And, it's an IP problem. That, you can't stop someone dressed up as Snow White from swearing or you making vulgar gestures. And so they had to make that rule. Another thing you can no longer do is swim in the lakes. I never got a chance to swim in the lakes because they stopped in the, before I went for the first time when I was in the first grade. There used to be a water park in one of the lakes, and they've learned so much about this certain microorganism that lives in the lakes of Florida that is really, really dangerous, and so they stopped swimming in the lakes. There's also, of course, alligators and other wildlife that they can't control. Even though you're in Walt Disney World, you can't control the wildlife there, so you can no longer swim in the lakes. Another thing that you can't do at Walt Disney World anymore is see a film be animated. There used to be a full animation studio at MGM, which is now Hollywood Studios. Lilo and Stitch was animated there. Mulan was animated there. And you could do the tour and you could see the animators actually working. I loved the backstage tour. I loved the Great Movie Ride, but all of those elements of MGM have been taken away, and now instead of celebrating and seeing how movies are made, Hollywood Studios is more about stepping into the movies with Toy Story Land and Galaxy's Edge. You can no longer visit Minnie and Mickey's houses. For a short time, you may be able to catch them out in Disneyland before they do their Toontown overhaul, but there used to be Toontown in Disney World as well, and you used to be able to visit Mickey and Minnie in their houses. That's now the area that's New Fantasyland and Storybook Circus. One of my favorite memories was staying at the Grand Floridian Resort when I was a kid, and my brother had to take naps, so we would hang out by the pool with my dad, and I remember having our little kid-size bathrobes, and we would ride the monorail around and around. We'd go to the pool, put on our bathrobes, and then just ride the monorail around, and I loved riding up front in the monorail, but due to safety reasons, they have discontinued that, and you can no longer ride up front in the monorail. What's something that you used to do at Walt Disney World that you can't do anymore? Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for joining me, and don't forget to take a break from the busy.
Need help planning your next family vacation? Visit us at showcasetheworld.com to request a quote or schedule a free vacation consultation. Want more great travel tips? You'll find those there too.